All right, what's going on, brothers? Hopefully everything's going good. Hopefully everything's going well for you guys. All right, brothers. I'm gonna do this. Is another part, another part of the effects of having negative attention or a bad reputation, right? So I guess it'd be part two, whatever. But brothers, right here we have cooking with Kaya. Now I don't think cooking with Kaya is a bad person, but being that how cooking with Kaya did her boyfriend, that's 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 gonna have negative effects on her. Negative effects on her. And what's crazy is that I might do a video of if I can find it. I remember seeing a couple of women on TikTok say what I'm saying now. In a similar vein, like you do something like that, blah blah blah, woo woo. Now guys will look at you differently. Yeah, guys of the past did the same thing. They looked at a woman differently. Your reputation, what you doing, how you do somebody, people are gonna look at that. Don't get me wrong, you're gonna always have some guys who don't have the awareness and just, as you guys would say, can't see the forest from the trees or refuse to. But every time I've seen it throughout my life, they don't want those guys, and those guys usually make them worse in my experiences. When they get with those guys who you guys would say are suckers or simps, that makes them worse. They usually become more hoish. It's like they start sleeping around even more. but anyway, whatever. But like I said, I'm not saying Cooking with Kaya has the reputation of being a hoe, but being how she did that and it was saw on social media like that, whatever, I think that definitely did her a disservice. And it's gonna have negative effects on her. And she might already be feeling it. Or she might not recognize it. Who knows? But I do think Cooking with Kaya can overcome it. And this is another thing I want to say about having a bad reputation. You can overcome it, brothers and sisters, but you have to put the work in. You have to work twice as hard to get half as much. You have to rebuild that trust, rebuild your reputation. And it can take years. From my experience, it usually take about I'll say a year and a half to 2.5 years to really flip that. And that's not really that bad. You gotta be disciplined. If you and I guarantee if you stay the course and you're disciplined, I'm willing to bet you within 8 months to a year and a half, you'll start seeing a difference how people look at you or how they view you. It's a good chance. 1.5 years. Definitely by the time you hit two, you definitely should see a difference. Now it might take a little longer, but stay the course if you want to change your reputation. And the main thing is don't do what gave you that negative asterisk on your name. You gotta stay disciplined, you know. But you can do it. I've seen people do it. But anyway, uh, but that could be pertaining to anything in your life. But anyway, so Cooking with Kai, even though it might not be the worst thing we have seen, I think she could overcome it, but I don't think she will overcome it. Reason being, you got people who will just come to her defense. Oh man, give her a chance, give her a break. She's young and all that type of stuff. And I think I think those type of actions plays a major role into why you hear that saying, "Women get bitter, men get better." Yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys have heard a saying similar to that. And that's it holds a lot of weight. So you gotta be honest and reflective with yourself, right? But Cooking with Kai, she'll be all right. But I'm just saying what she did had a negative effect on her reputation or how people or how men look at her. You know, I wouldn't trust her. Not saying she a bad person, but like, man, you saw what she did. I'll be afraid she might do something like that to me. Will I lay with her? Of course. I'm not saying it's right, but of course. And that's another. A lot of guys, of course, we all know that. We all know that. But anyway, but yeah, she's definitely going to have some negative effects in her life because of that. If she's not already experiencing it, and maybe she won't be able to recognize it. Who knows? But anyway, let's go on to the next woman. Ruby Rose, right, has a bad reputation, a not so good reputation. Ruby Rose was with DDG. Now, some of you guys might say, well, she might didn't want to get pregnant by DDG because that's what I'm trying to talk about. Maybe you're right, but and I don't know, but I'm willing to bet you my last at least $5 to a donut that DDG didn't want to get her pregnant. I wouldn't have bet you that DDG didn't want to commit to her. Why? Because of her reputation. You know, he gets with Haley Bailey, he gets her pregnant. Now you might say, well, Haley Bailey has her problems, which she does, but she has what, a better reputation, a better reputation. You know, she's not known to be what, a 304 like Ruby Rose is. And then I think another thing that went against Ruby Rose is how she did Drewski. I think that went against her real, and that's a good example. What she do when Drewski, when they broke up, oh, you had to pay me to be with you, blah blah blah, and this, that, and third. You know, she did all this stuff to make him look bad. What did Drewski do? Drewski didn't do nothing. And what has happened since that happened? Drewski only got more popular, doing more stuff, TV shows. I don't even think Drewski even was mad that they broke up. I don't even think Drewski even cared. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what negative attention do, like that fire energy drink. Yeah, you can get a spike, but you have a major crash. And I think somebody said that Ruby Rose is rich, or she said she's rich. I don't believe it, but whatever. And let me use what I heard two content creators say about one about the Ruby Rose and Drewski situation. One content creator said Drewski had to pay a fat tax because he was fat. I understood what he was saying, but I disagree. I don't think so. I think Drewski was with her because Drewski is now famous. He has status. And he's like thinking, okay, this is a bad B, right? And I think Drewski got with her and experienced her and realized, you know what? She's no different from the regular girls I date in the hood. That's what I think. And Drewski did say something like, yeah, it costs to be with a bad B. And what I think Drewski meant was that, the stuff she wanted to do, let's go do this, let's go do that. So they went and did it. And Drewski even said, I think Drew said, I don't even own a car. Drewski is content with the simple things in life. Now, Drewski might have a car now, but, he's more content with the simple things in life. Ruby Rose, just like most women, they want experience. Oh, let's go here, let's do this, let's eat that. And Drewski just being, and this is just what I think, him just being a man, not a sucker, just being a man, okay, I'll take care of it. And, he's paying, just paying. It's his girl, right? But anyway, so I don't think Drewski had to pay a fat tax. I don't think she extorted him, and I think she was lying. That's why she was so butthurt about it. Right? Drewski didn't trip. Drewski didn't say nothing. He kept it moving. All right, whatever. He kept it moving, and his life has only gotten better. Ruby Rose is just fading away. You don't hear nothing about her. Not saying you won't, but you don't. But anyway, the point being is that Ruby Rose did that. How you think that makes her look amongst other men? Yeah, you're going to always have suckers and those guys who might get with Ruby Rose and do something with her, but those guys, like I said, in my experience, they always never want those guys. They always never want them. And rightfully so, I guess, right? So Ruby Rose has shot herself in the foot. That's going to have negative effects on her. And then another content creator said that Ruby Rose was talking about she wanted a guy to make like $15 million. And one content creator said, well, she's had it before, so she could demand that. Nah, and you're wrong. She cannot. One, Drewski didn't have $15 million when she was with him. I doubt he got it now. DDG didn't have that type of money when she was messing with him. Maybe he got it now. I wouldn't be surprised if he don't got it now. But I did see one when he made up with all that money, whatever the case may be, whatever, right? So, anyway, she's not going to get that. And like I say, I think somebody says she's rich or she says she's rich. Whatever, I don't believe it, but whatever she is, she is. But chances are she's not going to get there. And one of the reasons is because how she presented herself, what she's done. Will guys want to lay with her? Yeah, of course they will. When women do these things, they pretty much put themselves in the side chick or the hookup hook up when we can position. That's all they did. That's all Ruby Rose did. And some, of course, she might be cool with that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She might be, but I highly doubt it. You mean to tell me you think you can go to a girl like you want to be the main chick or the side chick, and Ruby Rose is gonna say a side chick? Cooking with Kyle is gonna say a side chick? Absolutely not. I'm not. I think Cooking with Kyle still got a chance, but Ruby Rose, she can change her reputation, but it's like I said, it's gonna take time. It's gonna take some work, and it might take more than 2 years for somebody like Ruby Rose. You know. But anyway, that has negative effects on her. Let's go on to the next one. Now this is Beauty Dior, and you might say, "Well, I haven't heard her in no scandals," and I would agree. But Beauty Dior, man, is a very, if you guys don't not familiar with her, she was a very popular porn star in the 90s. Was it no, early 2000s, right? Beauty Dior, very attractive woman. I'm not sure. I know she's not married. I don't think she has a man. I could be wrong, but I don't think she's married. But either way, Beauty Dior, even though she has some type of fame, did not secure a man of status, a high status man or a man with money. And I bring that up to say is that it's because of her reputation. You a porn star. You think? And I think she was talking about. I know that she was around rappers, and I'm pretty sure. I think she even said she even hung with some of them. In her day. I don't know if she spilled the beans about if she slept with them, but bro, you think Beauty Dior being around these rappers, high as they would say, high status men of that time, you think she didn't hook up with some of those guys? I'm willing to bet you she did. I'm willing to bet you she did. And not one of those guys wanted to wife her. One nighter, as they say, but not wife her. You see what I'm saying? And it's because of her being a porn star. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure you got some porn stars who are married, but I don't know many that are. But anyway, I'm pretty sure you got some that are married, but I'm just saying that stuff has an effect on your life. Her being a porn star. Not a lot of guys are gonna be like, Cherokee the booty, right? Cherokee the ASS. She might got a man, but I know she's not married. It's the reputation that she has. And she's a nice looking woman, same as Beauty Dior. You a porn star. Not many men of high means or status are going to want a wife. I wouldn't. Would I, what I'm saying? Yeah, of course. Of course, of course. But being with her seriously? No way, Jose. No way. There's no way I would want to impregnate a Ruby Rose or Beauty Dior or Cherokee. No way I would want to do that. And I think Beauty Dior has she seems pretty cool, especially Cherokee. Cherokee has a real cool personality. Hell, even Pinky, from what I've seen them interview, they have real cool personalities. But anyway, I'm just showing you their reputation, what they're doing, how it affects their life. So be careful. And the last but not least, this is Janice Hart. She's in the same vein as Beauty Dior. Anyway, Janice Hart, whatever her name, Janice Hart. She says she's a millionaire too. She says she is. Is she? I don't know. But anyway, I just want to abuse her as the last one because, brothers, I highly doubt Janice is going to find a man of means, a man of status to take her seriously. I highly doubt it. Why? Because how she presents herself. Her reputation. She did stuff in the porn industry. She talk all this sexy, whatever she's doing, whatever, all this freaky stuff. Not bad looking, right? But there's no way in the world I would take her seriously. And I'm willing to bet you that the guys who would is highly likely that's not the guys that she want. It's not the guys that she want. Yeah, so negative attention, all attention ain't good attention. And these women have negative attention, and it has affected their life. Beauty Dior has affected her life. So many of them, so many of them. Of course, they'll say, "Oh, I'm good. I'm living good. I'm on top of the world." Of course, they would say these things, right? And I'm not knocking them, but I'm just saying, man. Uh, the negative attention, negative, what you're known for, has effects. All right, and you can apply with anything in life. But I'm just showing you, brothers. I'm using women who have negative publicity or negative attention, and how it trails their lives, whether they recognize it or not. Like I say, you can change things about yourself in any field, I would say, but it's gonna be hard. Some gonna be harder than others, but you have to stay the course. You're gonna have to work twice as hard to get half as much to rebuild your reputation. You understand? But anyway, that's it right there. But and these women are just a reflection of what goes on to women in real time, which I gave an example in the first video. Of a girl I grew up with, make God rest her soul, you know, and she was tough. She's actually built she kind of had a body similar to Dior, pretty similar to hers, somewhat of that nature. She was tough, right? As they would say, guys flock to her. She very extremely attractive, but a lot of guys wouldn't take her seriously because her reputation, the negative attention that she had got, what she was known for. Like these women are being known for. So I just wanted to point that out, man. So be careful with your reputation. And anyway, that's about it. So when I see these women get known for the wrong reasons, I can already predict that 9 times out of 10 where they would be at. Where they would be at. I ain't gonna say not, quite, because I've seen it before. History repeats itself. If not, it sure does rhyme. That girl I grew up with in my neighborhood, she was before these women. Was maybe not Beauty Dior, I guess. They might, whatever. But she's just a reflection, or she's just a reflection of them, or a microcosm of them. You understand what I'm saying? So, but anyway, brothers, so that's it. And like I say, brothers, you're gonna be known by what you do. And brothers, if you see a woman with a negative attention, I would advise you to be very careful as you deal with her. A woman who has negative attention and she constantly gets it, I repeat, do not take that woman seriously. I'm not saying you gotta treat her bad. I'm just saying if you guys, because she might like you, and you might run into her. It might not be a famous woman. It might you just a regular everyday person, like and it's a girl from your city. Now you might don't know, but if you find out this girl has negative attention consistently, be very careful. I would advise you not to take her seriously. Be very careful. And anyway, brother, that's it. I'm out. Peace.